Welcome to Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Karuni Fund to the event of Tips from Champions. KVO Stanakwasi Mahajan Sanchalit Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Karuni Fund is happy to welcome all the three panelists. We have Avni, Sohil and Naithik. Very happy to welcome you all. Just to give you all a brief introduction of this organization, before that, I would also like to welcome all the participants on YouTube. KVO Stanakwasi Mahajan Sanchalit Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Karuni Fund has been an organization in existence for the past more than 53 years. And this organization came up with the main objective of education, and education with the focus on girls for higher education. I'm sure the visionaries of the past may have really thought about the community so intensely that the issues that were there, the challenges that were there in education, especially for the girls, were addressed very well through this organization. But it's also a point to be made that even after 53 years, the challenges continue to be there. Challenges may have changed, but challenges are still there. As we all know that higher education was not so common in the past amongst girls for several reasons. Maybe finance, maybe the attitude, values in the society. However, girls did dream to study higher and to achieve good professions, success in their profession. And this organization helped them with financial support. It continued to do so for many years. Even today, finance always remains a challenge. The educational fee structure is soaring and growing. And therefore, this organization supports girls not only for domestic education, but also for a foreign education. We are very happy for that. Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Karuni Fund also stretches and extends itself in guidance and support, career counseling and guidance to students, both gender, boys and girls, for every field of education, be it science, commerce, arts, medicine, engineering, design, various other fields, right after the 10th standard, that is, while the student is out of school, up to the time the child graduates, postgraduates, and even achieves further higher education. Besides that, it also gives them equal opportunities for meeting professionals, that is from the educational field as well as from the corporate world. And this also happens to both the genders, boys and girls, and in every field of education. So every year we have a gamut of experts who visit the organization. Some of these events are done with very, very prestigious KVO organizations also together in coordination. And many of the activities are done solely by this organization. Some of these sole activities are education. It directly imparts education and empowers women through soft skill training. And these sessions are conducted all over Mumbai. They're spread over across all age groups, not only for those who are college going, but women in general. So it directly imparts education also. I would just like to make a mention that this lockdown period was one of the best opportunity, one of the best example of how this lockdown period was converted from a challenge to an opportunity. Right from mid-April, we've had several training programs. Some of them are worth mention because, not only because we've conducted them, but because the videos of these programs are still available on the MMSD KKF YouTube channel. And therefore, I'm mentioning them so that those of you who have not must view them. The educational programs that were conducted spread over from one day session to 5-day to 10-day, 15-day session, 12-day session, and so on. The topics covered were very, very tuned to the 21st century skill sets required by anyone in the professional world. And they were digital marketing, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, which was called Lakshya program. We also had languages like French, Mandarin, Sanskrit. We also had sessions on coding, app development, financial literacy, also business emailing, LinkedIn, how to create and handle a LinkedIn profile. We had several sessions also on parenting, and there are many more sessions also which are lined up. There are several other sessions which have also happened. Not to miss are the Saturday and the Sunday event. The Saturday event started with tips from toppers, the toppers of the 10th and 12th. We then continued with the tips from toppers domestic in the afternoon from 4:30 to 6 on Saturday, and evening the international champions from 7:30 to 9. On Sunday, we have Apna Time Aayega, which is sharing journey and stories of young entrepreneurs, startup ideas. They could be design thinkers. There would be established entrepreneurs, but with a twist in their entrepreneurial journey. So all these aspects have been shared through this. I would like to highlight three very important activities of this organization. These projects have really made a mark and made a difference in the education of women. The first project that I will be talking about is the Srimati Premilaben Lakshmichand Kumarji Nanji Kenya. The family instituted a project for supporting young girls for a foreign education. So it does give interest-free soft loans for girls who aspire to go in any part of the world for higher education. We have another very important project, which is the BCS MA Merit Award, which has been instituted by the parent, the donor family, and that is called the Bhartiben Chimanlal Merit Award. It is a very, very important merit award and very popular amongst young girls because it not only gives them, not only assesses the merit, but also gives them an opportunity to grow their skills through the process. It has several sessions. It assesses the students not only from their academic perspective, but their co-curricular perspective, their team building, through team building activities, through personal interviews. Their written abilities are also tested. There's online aptitude test and several other series of evaluation done by a gamut of experts, again from academics and industry. Students can apply for this scholarship after achieving any of the milestone after 10th, 12th, grad, postgrad, or any other higher education. It is a fantastic opportunity for girls to go through the process irrespective, and beyond that, of course, a very good opportunity to win, to be amongst the top 10 and naturally be the winner also. We also have a very important, the third project that I mentioned is the Prince Merit Award. This Merit Award is again very prestigious because this was instituted for the purpose of supporting girls who have secured admission in premier institute or universities, international or national. And this was instituted by Srimati Kalaben Mahendrabhai Chheda Prince Parivar. We are thankful to all the donors, irrespective of these three projects, who have immensely helped this organization in growing and creating a vision on the path of success of these young girls. For our KVO daughters, the entire trust board, the organization, the committee, which includes the office bearers and the committee members. Some share vision, some share implementation of the vision, and some share moral support. Each one's role through this process has been very, very important, without which all these events and activities, even in the lockdown, were never possible. At the same time, the vision that is continued for 53 years, I think it would have been the great visionaries of the past whom we all salute. and especially in this lockdown period where we wish good health of each and every one. Simultaneously, we also wish mental health and mental well being, and therefore, all these activities have been conducted. Not much taking time about Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji Kevyo Keroni Fund, which many of you are familiar and many of you may not have. Thank you for a very patient hearing about this organization. And now we move on to the program for which we have actually gathered. And I'm happy to share the stories, the you can say the panelists who will be sharing their stories. And I'm happy to welcome Avni Shilpa Kishore Chheda from village Nangalpur, who lives in Chembur and currently herself lives in Philadelphia, USA. Avni, we welcome you to this program. I'm sure you are healthy and happy from Philadelphia, and we welcome you here for this event. We
Hello,
also
ma'am.
we also welcome Sohil, Manisha Ketan Gogri from village Kapaya. Family lives in Sion, and he himself is currently in Los Angeles, USA. Welcome to you, Sohil, and I'm happy to welcome Naithik Nisha Talaksi Soni, who is from village Vadala, lives in Goregaon. The family lives in Goregaon, and he himself is from San Francisco, USA, but I've just learned he's currently in Chicago. So I welcome all the three of y'all, and I'm sure that your journey of success and failure both will be shared, because each and every experience of yours would go a long way in growing and understanding through your experiences to the other students and the parents and the community at large. So, if you're ready to begin, we can begin with Avni.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. Hope you are well and safe at home. My name is Avni Chheda, and I'm currently based out of Philadelphia and originally from Mumbai. So I would like to
Avni,
take.
Avni, your slide is not showing the right. Can you just enlarge it a little?
Let me know if this is okay.
No, it's the same.
Is this okay now?
Yeah, this is fine. This is perfect.
Okay. So sorry for that. So I would just like to take a minute before I start my journey and thank you all for joining me. Uh, Especially want to thank KVO Mahajan for organizing this, and Ela ma'am for guiding so many students, so many parents on this journey, and sharing our experiences with the community. I would also like to thank my family for being my constant cheerleaders, especially my mom, Shilpa Chheda, my dad, Kishore Chheda, my sister, Dr. Payal Chheda, who have been, my constant cheerleaders. And without their support, I don't think I would have been here. So I'll quickly start looking at my journey. So I was based out of Mumbai, born and brought up all through my school, my early education, junior college, bachelor's in engineering, all in Mumbai. And it was definitely, where I have learned everything. My base was in Mumbai. So I started in school and I was always into extracurriculars, always a voracious reader, and with a keen interest in arts. So my convent school, which was Canossa High School, it gave me a holistic education, definitely, but it definitely pushed me to take up arts, debates, dancing. anything that would improve my personality, they would help me. On the personal side, I was always interested in extracurriculars like scholarship exams, math and science exams like Pravinya Pradnya. I started giving these exams like as early as like fourth or fifth standard, and that started creating a logical base of problem solving in me. I've held various merit positions like BCTS. It was a Brihan Mumbai Talent Search exams, KTXE exams, and these would train me not only for problem solving in math and science, but it would shape my personality. For example, in KTSE, they would give you industry exposure. They would have mentor mentee programs where you could learn from each other. You would learn from people like Ila ma'am or Lax sir, who would share their journey, Atish sir, who would share their journey, and it was a learning experience for sure. So with definitely these extracurriculars were building my personality, and eventually I was at a point where I was choosing what should I be taking, like arts. I wanted to be a commercial artist versus should I take science. So eventually I took science because I wanted to keep my options open, and that's what I took. And I remember my parents telling me that commercial arts is might be an off career path, but you should be taking it. So I always had that support from my family, or from my teachers, who would tell me that it's okay to take an off beaten path. It's not necessary that you need to be an engineer or a doctor, but for some reason I ended up being an engineer. So after that, I remember I had a lot of confusion between choosing my specialty for bachelor's, and I was confused between architecture and computer engineering. And at that point, I remember I was talking to multiple teachers, my professors at that time, seniors who were in the field, who were kind of almost completed their journey, and they would guide me that this is how does the course actually look like in those 4 years. So after a lot of considerations, looking at the booming field at that time, I thought computer engineering would give me like again you know a common base, and from there then I can choose my specialty. So during the 4 years, um, I think I definitely did not become specialized in any of the subjects from computer engineering, but it gave me, you could say, in IT technologies, a very generic base. So I was able to understand, or at least pick up technologies at the end of these 4 years. um, I would, volunteer in college. So engineering colleges in Mumbai are a lot of fun. So, there were a lot of technical, there were a lot of festivals going on around, and I was always ready to, participate, to lead them. And one of them, which was fun, I remember, was I was a creative head for a technical organization called IST, and we would create these technical conferences, or it could be festivals, 1 or 2 day festivals, and it was a lot of learning process, just organizing them. Then I remember I would also do like a lot of volunteering. I remember I had gone with my sister in her, she's a doctor, so she was visiting a medical camp in Bidara, and I had gone to the Bidara hospital, and just looking at how much our community serves and gives back. It was a wonderful experience. So post that, I think the next step was my job. So I landed a job in Accenture, which gave me an opportunity to go to Bangalore. So it was a training period, and it was less than a year, but moving to a new city, which was Bangalore at that time, opened up a lot of doors for me. So just living on your own, the whole experience of getting out of your shell, learning how life works, or how an organization works, was a great experience. And I was introduced to the field of business intelligence in Accenture. So it was a great opportunity for me. They trained me in various business intelligence technologies for like 2 months, and then you are placed in a project. So that was a, you could say, the starting point of my business intelligence or data analytics journey. So once I was in working at Accenture, I knew I wanted to do my master's, but at that time I wanted to do an MBA. So I was considering the decision, and I wasn't sure. So just to recap my learnings from my early life, I think at an early age, just experiment whatever you like, whatever your passions are. If you're a parent, just support your children. And for the children, it's okay, whatever your passions are, just follow them. One thing that I could have done, which I didn't do, was an internship during my bachelor's. And that's something that I would totally recommend. Any kind of volunteering, internships that you can do, you will learn from it. Just try new things, and whatever you like, keep doing it. And the other learning is it's okay to be confused. Just keep talking to your parents or any sounding board that you have. It might be your teachers, it might be your seniors, but have that sounding board, and just take it from there. It's fine to be confused, and at every point in your life you're going to be confused. So my introduction to next would be my university life. So as I said, I was very confused about whether I should do an MBA, or should I do, what should I do next in my life. So at that time, I was looking for an MBA with a focus in business intelligence in India. I was very clear I did not want to go to the US, and I was constantly looking for that course because I knew I wanted to do a master's. Um, I did not find that course in India with a focus in information systems, and that's the reason why I started looking into, MS in information systems. So it was my 2 years of experience in Accenture, which made it very clear that I wanted a career in data, but I didn't find that right fit in India, and so I started exploring universities in US. And it was not an easy decision for me, for my parents. They were really hesitant in the start, but I thought that it would be a great experience for me. I'll just start with that. I'll take a good university, and nothing. If it's a good university, I don't think it will go wrong. And I think it worked out well. So I was in the University of Maryland. Um, I chose this course, which was a um, course in MS in Information Systems from the business school. So the business school was Smith School of Business. So my coursework was 50% in business and 50%, information systems. So I got my mix of, I'm kind of doing like an MBA, but a focus in data. So interesting coursework for sure. Um, but I had to deal with, I had to manage my finances well. So it was an expensive course because it was from the business school. So I was trying to find campus jobs, especially to, try to reduce my course fees. If I could get any kind of scholarship, if I could get, any kind of assistantship, and at the same time cover any expenses that I had, like, day-to-day expenses. So that was my aim. University of Maryland is amazing. It has a large campus, it has great opportunities, and I got an opportunity to, I started as an art librarian. So basically, you are an assistant taking care of an art library. So it was my dream job, honestly. And I got to be an art librarian. And from there, I converted that into an assistantship. I kind of created that position for myself. And I got to be a graduate assistant with the art library of University of Maryland. So what I did is I also had some project management coursework in Smith School, and I tried to merge these two things. I did a project with the art gallery in University of Maryland, mashed these two up, and we had a great project with them. Um, yes, the next thing with university is self-care. Very new to you will be you are managing work, which is job, your on-campus job with your coursework, your cooking, cleaning, doing groceries on the side, maintaining your sanity. Uh, it's crazy how much you will have to manage. So it's a balancing act, so you have to learn. I was fine with cooking and things like that, but um, there you you have never done or managed yourself before to this extent. So self care, a big part in university life. Campus life. University of Maryland again is an amazing campus. I tried to mingle as much as I can with the international students, graduate students there. And one thing that I did is I joined this graduate student government, initially like a volunteer, and then I was a part of the leadership team. So it's 10,000 plus graduates across campus. And we are the student body who's trying to help them. Policies, it can be just events, it can be networking, any help that a graduate student needs, they can come to the student government. And my reason to join that was just exposure to campus life, and definitely any way you can get involved, do that. The next thing that I had to do with coursework was trying to find an internship first, a summer internship. So I found a summer internship after like 3 months of applying. And then I also found a fall internship. So my fall internship was with SAP. So somehow I found it was, you could say, a great opportunity for me because it was part time in DC. So I didn't have to move, and it was SAP. So I don't know how I found that internship, and it was in data analytics. So finding that internship at the right time, the right amount is, I kind of found it and it was great. So it's not a small process. It's like a 2 to 3 month process at least to find an internship for sure. But that work experience will take you ahead. Next is a full-time job. So at the back of your mind during your course, the only thing that you will be concerned about is your job. Once you are finishing your course, you have like I think 6 months till you have to find a job, and you have to get your visa in place. If not, then you would have to leave the country. So a full-time job is constantly on your mind, and you'll probably be applying for it in the last 6 months of your course. So a very big part of your university life will be job searches. So for this, what I did was I was looking constantly, working with my career center. We had a lot of career fairs, so constantly, working with them. I had friends who were already in the US, so talking to them through LinkedIn, or they were my friends, so I could talk to them directly. Um, so always thinking ahead, where do you want to go, who's in my field, who can help me. That will take you a step ahead in your application journey. University life, I think if I have to, give you a nutshell challenges, I think the biggest one first was selection, of course. Once you're done with that, I would say financial planning, start a little bit ahead so you can start applying for scholarships, assistantships, in advance. It's not an easy um, thing to get, but if your university has opportunities, I would say go for it. Um, the way to get there is keep talking to them. You have to start emailing in advance, what is available, what kind of assistantships are available. Get those ideas in advance. um, Once you're there, you have to master time management and start networking. So without that, it's impossible to find a job or an internship. And with all of these, make sure you're sane. So I think that's in a nutshell my university life. After you're finished with this amazing process and it's rewarding, you will be a new person. Um, you will have moved on to your job, or basically, or internship, or whatever it is. But your university life will you will be a new person after that. So next is my work life at SAP. So uh, I started as an intern at SAP in DC, and then I did not. That was not an internship that converted. It was a new job for which I had to move to Philadelphia. So me being an intern gave me an opportunity to their career portal. Um, basically, opened up a lot of things for me. So I have been in various roles as a data analyst at SAP, starting as a BI engineer, and now I'm more into business operations, reporting, and analytics. So SAP is a company for that creates software for enterprises. So what I do is, analyze their data. It could be sales, it could be customer data, and help them run their business. So again, with moving to a new city, it's a new life. It's a new kind of balance that you have to find. University is more craziness. It's it's a lot of things going on at the same time. Here you will find much more balance. You'll have some time to breathe. But it will be a different kind of dynamic at work. So finding that work life balance. Moving to a new city means a new job. I had to learn driving. So I was in a suburb in near Philadelphia. So starting from scratch, like building everything from of your life, that itself is growth. So you will grow as a person. Your skills will grow once you start working. And working in the US definitely has been a great experience so far for me. So the good parts about SAP was travel. So I had a lot of opportunities to travel through, with them. So I remember I had my first introduction, like I started my full-time job in Barcelona. They had a great like team building activity in Barcelona, and so I was invited there, and that was my start to my full-time career. And every year, just for my personal learning, I try to go to conferences in data and AI. So some I have even been international. um, there was one at SAP with Singularity University, which was in Germany. And I have done multiple with MIT. I just try to find anything that's in my area. And with that, I travel anywhere in the country, or, outside the country. Uh, at SAP, definitely like they support a visa, but it's a constant process. You always have to keep that your visa in mind. It's not an easy process, I would say, but it's always going on. Being in a new city, you will have to find your network. I came to Philadelphia. I did not know anyone around me. So, initially you have to find your people. You have to start from scratch, basically. So for me, I joined this network called Business Women's Network. Two reasons. One was to find my network, and the second was to support women advance their careers. I mean, you would think in a country like US, the issues wouldn't be there, but they are. So maybe it's not the basic issues like women going for higher education, or women just getting to a workplace, but there are issues like women advancing in their careers, or in management positions, or women in STEM. So for this is my way of giving back to the community, just supporting wherever I can. So all in all, it's a great working life for now, a good balance, but it's evolving, continuously learning, continuously trying to learn from people around you. and my vision. So I'm just going to end my presentation with the vision I have. Um, this is a concept called Ikigai. I recently read a book called Ikigai, and it's a beautiful concept where you're trying to find your reason of being. So it's again a process. It's not, that this is my 5-year vision, that's it. You continuously have to. I am trying to find, what is my passion, where can I, take it with my mission, and find that balance. So I'm continuously trying to find my ikigai, and that's the vision of my life. So thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Avni. It was very nice to hear your journey. I still remember the days when you were awarded at the KTSC and all,
Yes,
and looking at you right now in SAP, such a big name, and traveling all over the world. Very proud of you, Avni.
thank you, ma'am. It's definitely been a great journey with, learning from all of you.
Yeah. And we'll definitely get back to you with questions. And
Mhm.
Sohil, are you ready?
Yeah.
Sohil is the one who's got up the earliest.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, perfect. Hi everyone. I would like to start by thanking Ela ma'am and KVO and all the organizers for organizing this event, and as well as all the panelists for coming here, sharing their experiences, and hoping that all the people who are looking at this can take something out of it at the end of the day. Um, so I'm Sohil Manisha Ketan Gogri. I'm a senior data and infrastructure at GoGuardian. It's a small startup in Los Angeles. My GAM is Kapaya. My parents live in Sion, and I'm currently in Los Angeles. So I'll start with my journey. Um, my journey started from schooling in AVM. That is where I first started learning programming in my 8th standard, and uh, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped till date. I did my college from SIS, where I did my majors was computer science. I did my BTech in IT from VJTI, which continued the 4 years of coding and software engineering. Um, During my time at VJTI, it was not just coursework. I participated in a lot of extracurriculars, especially in the cultural festival Pratibim. I started with working in marketing, so going to different colleges, marketing my college's cultural festival. I moved on to becoming the marketing head in the next year. And in my final year, I was also the creatives head. So I was responsible for creating the website for the cultural festival. During my BTech, I also did an internship at Samsung Bangalore. That was also a software engineering internship. While my BTech was going on, I gave my GRE TOEFL, and with a lot of help from Ela ma'am and Lax sir, uh, I applied to a bunch of different colleges, and I got my admit from USC in Los Angeles. And I did my master's in data informatics at USC from 2015 to 2017. Uh, for the first 2 years, it was just doing courses. Like I took 7 courses in my first 2 semesters, and my thought process was that I'll try to finish as much as I can in the first year, and so I can reserve some time for getting some industry exposure in the second year. And so I did a software engineering internship in the summer at Savient. It's again a small startup in LA. In my third semester, I also did an unpaid internship at a really small startup in LA. And in my last semester, I got an internship at Viewpoint Solutions in Boston. Um, uh, my main focus during my 2 years at USC was not just doing coursework and learning more of computer programming, but in my previous internship at Samsung, I realized that the amount of learnings that I got from just those 3 months at Samsung was way more than what I learned in my 4 years at BJTI. And it sort of made my thought process clear that you definitely need industry exposure. It's just not enough to do your coursework and get done with it. And so my focus had always been getting industry exposure and working on real life problems and solving them. All of that sort of helped me get my the current job where I am right now at GoGuardian. So I started as a data and infrastructure engineer in 2017, and I was promoted to a senior data and infrastructure engineer in 2019, and I'm still working at that company. Um, so yeah, that has been my journey so far. Uh, I'll talk a little about the lessons I learned from academics, not just from BJTI, but from USC as well. Uh, Firstly, focus on your GPA, not just in your undergrad, but in your post graduation as well. Just because when you apply for your post graduation, you need to give other exams like GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, and those can be retaken, and you can give those exams again if you're not satisfied with your score. But something like your undergraduate GPA, that cannot you cannot repeat that, and so it's really important to start investing early in your GPA in your undergrad, especially. Um, as well as in your post graduation. In my 2 years at USC, I took a lot of courses that focused more on assignments rather than exams, just because I felt like, for me personally, those were more important because I was solving real problems rather than just answering questions in exams. Um, yeah, the second thing would be do your assignments yourselves. Like, please, your parents have paid so much money to get you to USA. Uh, it's really important that you do your assignment yourself and you learn from it. Uh, while I was at USC, and even right now, I see people paying other people to do their assignments or copying it from others. Apart from plagiarism, it's really the amount of learning you will get from doing assignments yourself. There's no real learning like that. Thirdly, I would say networking is really important. Get to know people, get to know your juniors, get to know your seniors, the people who passed out from your college, who are working in the industry right now, your professors. It really helps. The bigger network you have, the more it'll help you, not just while you're applying for jobs, but also while you're studying or while you're working. Just because you won't know everything, and so you'll have to look to for help to other people, and so it's really important to have a really big network so that you can always reach out to someone for help whenever you need it. Fourthly, do your research. Don't just take any course blindly just because everyone else is doing it. Do your research, know your priorities, what you want in the course that you want to do. So I started doing my research even before I came to USC. Like, I didn't apply for the generic computer science course. I applied for the data informatics course, which really inspired me, and that was something different, and that was something that I really wanted to do. And even while I was at USC, I didn't just take computer science or data informatics courses. I also took math courses because those interested me. So always do your research before taking your courses. And like I've already said before, get real world experience. It's not enough just doing assignments or doing or doing assignment projects or giving exams. It's really important to know how to solve real world problems, because that's what helps when you go out in the industry, not just to apply for jobs, but to actually work in one. And I would like to say that the 3 or 4 internships that I did, it really helped me put me where I am right now, and it helped me put me on a path to go forward as well. Another thing I would say is, don't be afraid to reach out to people when you're looking for help or when you're looking for jobs. Um, Even if you don't know the person, just reach out to them and ask them to refer you at the company, or ask them for advice how to apply to a company, what is the company looking for. That will really help you prepare for not just your internship or applying for the internship or applying for a job as well. It will help you shape who you are. Lastly, I would say know your priorities. Like for me, it was really important to bear some of the cost of my academics. So I didn't, like the first 2 semesters, I did an on-campus job to bear my expenses for the rent and other utilities. In the second year, I did a few internships that sort of helped me reduce the financial burden. So I knew my priorities were reducing the financial burden. Um, just be clear on what your priorities are and work according to that. And also enjoy yourself. Those 2 years of student life will not come back. Um, the lessons I learned as a professional of my 3 years working at GoGuardian and various paid and unpaid internships. Um, I would like to say, always strive to get a job that really gets you excited. Like it is difficult to get a job to start with, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to apply for various jobs. You're going to have to study a lot for interviews, and it's going to be difficult. But in the end, after the whole process, it'll just make you a better human being, and it'll make you so satisfied when you get that job. So please strive to get a job that really gets you excited and really wants you feel like you want to go to work every day. I'm really happy to be in a job where I want to go to work every day and make a difference. Um, and when you're in your job, like take part in conferences, meetings, meetups, just be aware of what's going on around you. Don't be in your small little bubble of your friends or your colleagues. There's a lot bigger world outside, and you'll get to know what other people are doing, how other people are working. I have been to, I would like to say, 3 big conferences. One of them is AWS reInvent, and 2 smaller ones. And I have really benefited a lot in terms of my academics as well as professional experience. Also, like every city has meetups, so it's not specifically one topic, but there are meetups for everything. Like I attend one meetup for Golang every month in Los Angeles. So it's really important to take part in the community and know what's going on around you. Be aware of what's going on in the industry. It's important to know how other people are tackling problems and how other people are doing things. That really gives you a different perspective on how things can be approached in different ways, and not just the way you've been doing or not just the way your company works. It's really important to know how everyone else is functioning as well, and it's important to stay in touch with the newest technologies and that are going around. It pays off to be updated. Never be afraid of trying new things. I mean, your academics is going to be a new thing. You'll have to learn to cook. You'll have to learn to do things by yourself. In your job, you'll have to learn new things. Not everyone is going to handhold you all the time. So you'll have to do things yourself. Never be afraid to doing new things and trying out new things. And lastly, always keep learning. it's really important to continue this learning path. And it doesn't stop when you do your academics, it doesn't stop when you do your job. It needs to go throughout your life. Lastly, I would like to talk about my experiences outside of my academics and my work. So I'm a huge soccer fan, as you can see behind. So I have been to the Manchester United Stadium in UK with a couple of my work friends to watch some football matches. That's the bottom right image. The top right image was me giving a talk and a presentation at DevFest Los Angeles back in 2016. Uh, I like to go on hikes outside of my work days, especially on weekends. The middle picture is one of the hikes that I went to in Scotland with a few of my friends. I like traveling. I like traveling a lot. Um, I haven't been to many places yet, and the lockdown isn't helping. But last year I went to Scotland and England. Apart from that, I like reading. I don't have that many books personally, hard copy, but one of my favorite books that I would recommend everyone should read is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Even if you don't like reading books, just read that book. It's really amazing. It'll help you immensely. It has helped me a lot. And yeah, I would personally recommend that book. Apart from um, non-technical books, I also read a lot of technical books. And so yeah, those have been my different experiences and the things that I like to do outside of work. It's really important to keep yourself motivated and to keep inspiring yourself to continue working and continue striving hard. Yeah, that's been my time. Thank you so much, everyone. And feel free to contact me. I've added my email and LinkedIn profile. So always feel free to reach out. And thank you so much.
Nice, Sohil. Nice to hear your entire story. It's been a very good success story to work again in another big corporate world. Just like Avni, I think you also had a good journey. We'll get back to you too. And let's have Naithik now. Naithik, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, Thanks, Sohil. Uh, okay. Let me start sharing the screen. Awesome. Thanks, Sohil. That was really interesting and inspiring. To begin with, hello, everyone. Good morning to the people in the States, and good evening, everyone in India. Thank you for joining today to listen to us, our journey. We are all super excited to share how we have been through. And
Naithik, be louder.
Sure. Is it good now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. Yeah. So to begin with, I would like to thank Ela ma'am and as well as our KVO Stanakwasi, Jain Mahajan and Matushri Maniben Shivji Kelwani Fund for giving us this opportunity to share our journey, to talk to people, and giving this platform to reach out to everyone. So thank you very much. So to begin with, yeah, my name is Naithik Soni. My parents are Nisha Talakshi Soni. I come from village Vadala. I grew up uh, and have residence in Goregaon. Currently in Thane, my parents have moved there, but primarily I still call Goregaon my residence. Um, Presently, I work in the Bay Area, so live in San Francisco area. As Ela ma'am said, I'm visiting in Chicago. Uh, and I'm very excited today to kind of share like some of my learnings that I have had and some of my opinions that would be definitely helpful to everyone. So I my for my education life, like I was super excited about my SSC and HSC examinations, where like I used to study a lot. Was a sincere guy, I would say, what my mom used to say, but things have changed over time. Um, so I did my schooling from St. Mary's English School, Malad, and then did my 11th and 12th grade from Parker College. Um, it's a very interesting thing how I entered doing my bachelor's from DJ Sangvi, into computer engineering. So I had good grades in 12th, and the only route that people think about is doctor and engineer. I was into that trap. Uh, but no matter what, I think we had guidances and everything, but still when you are that young, you are a little concerned, confused, worried. What are some next good steps? But I would like to say, like, just go do it, and you will do well wherever you go. So yeah, it turned out well for me. I uh, joined uh, DJ Sangvi College of Engineering for my computers bachelor's degree, and let's talk about a little bit about my journey there. But before that, some of my interests are traveling, socializing, playing board games. I'm a huge fan of the show Friends, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are. Doing ice skating sometimes. That is what being in Chicago taught me how to enjoy in cold. So these are some of my interests, like apart from like my academic and work life. So jumping on to my bachelor's journey. Um, so I did my bachelor's from DJ Sangvi College of Engineering. I spent almost 4 years of my life there, as everyone spends. I ended up, I would have ended up spending a lot of money doing my undergraduate because the fees is in lakhs of rupees per year. I was fortunate enough to get a tuition fee waiver, so my fees got reduced down to in thousands, which was great. But things that I want to focus on in that journey. Like I definitely had a great time, building my fundamentals, building the knowledge around computer programming, SQL, Java, Excel, computer networks, lot of things. Participated in cultural festivals, headed some of those tech festivals. Uh, and a very great journey in my bachelor's. But when I see like the things that I learned, it definitely helped me build my fundamentals. Um, but I did not know how to apply them. So when you talk how prepared I was from an industry skill perspective, what is needed, that I would call it a zero, because I was all into theoretical, nothing hands-on. So I did not know how to apply. I know how to code. I know how to do Excel and things like that. But where will I use it? That was an very interesting question I had. So at the end of 4 years, I'm like, okay, this is good. What next? Moving on, but something exciting that I learned and supposedly build my foundation there was doing this at Gymkhana. Uh, it was a fun thing, like definitely a lot of good memories out there. Um, So later on, I decided, okay, what next? So I immediately after I graduated from bachelor's, I decided to do my master's in the States. I definitely knew. So how did I choose my master? Even that's an interesting journey. At this moment, I at least knew that I want to get into some kind of things related to data. I knew that I did not want to do hardcore coding like a software developer. So a good blend of a business and technical knowledge is a course MIS, which I did from University of Illinois at Chicago. I spent a year and a half to complete my master's degree. Spent tons of money on doing my master's. Uh, what did I end up with? I ended up with a degree in master's, but a lot of student debt. Now what? Yeah, these all seems like at that moment like very struggling and very like scary a little bit when you like know about this thing, but it gets exciting, and it's all worth it. um so even here, like I struggled to find internship. I had limited networks, or maybe let's say I didn't focus much on networking. um and I did not have an internship. So the challenge was, okay, now I'm graduated. I did my coursework. I took courses around analytics, data, yeah, using some of their softwares. But what next? When I went out in the industry for a job search, it was a very exciting, my first job search in the States, like for full time. No prior work experience. Interesting. Okay, a lot of my resume gets rejected there, but definitely I had some on-campus experiences, and my project work were also part of my resume, but not welcoming enough for everyone. What next? It took 5 months, 5 good months. A lot of these months were after my graduation. So just imagine level of frustration at that moment where like you are graduated, you do not have a job, you have so much of student loan. What do you do next? um, but hang on, like it pays off. um, Good thing there were political changes at the time I graduated, so it was all like during 2016. So uncertainty with immigration rules. um, I remember these are nearly like, because I have documented things in an Excel sheet. These were the number of job applications I did. 1,058. Reached out to a ton of people, recruiters, seniors, KVO people, like KVO seniors via LinkedIn. Um, and then what I learned was also, how to face a rejection in the final round of interview. You think that you're almost there, but then you see that standard message. It was great talking to you. We found someone who is more aligned with this interest and our requirement. And then it took a lot and a lot of patience and hard work. But then finally a job offer after 5 months, which was super exciting. And this journey, like I would say, taught me a lot. Like my undergraduate, my master's, and my job search give me a lot of things. So here are some of my takeaways. I would say, like, based on the struggles that I've had and things that I would do differently and advise everyone, network as much as possible. Network with your seniors, people in your domain, your interest. You may not know what you want to do, what you like. Just talk to people, ask them about their work life. Reach out to people from KVO community. We have such a great community, everyone ready to help. Reach out to people on LinkedIn. uh, no matter where you are, not in your just masters or bachelors. LinkedIn is a very a great platform to reach out to people to know what they're doing. um, Invest in yourself, discover what are your strengths and weaknesses. And one very, very important learning is start early. Like as soon as you are out in your education field, in bachelor's, in master's, or anywhere, get ahead in the game, start applications, start reaching out to people. One mistake that I did was I all waited to graduate and then it's like, okay, what next? But then eventually you know that at least you need to get some kind of experience, so you need a job, so get early in the game. Like, yeah, even if you're coming for masters, why don't you start the process even before you land here, even before uh, you start your first semester? So start early. In any case, like, start early. Very important thing, you need to learn to develop skills. Like, not just learn, but learn how to apply it. How do we use it in the real world? Because it's all what the industry is looking for. Like, how how skillful you are to help the company grow, help yourself grow. So develop on building the skills. um, Highly recommend to focus on hands-on learning. Like, we learn a lot of theoretical things, but I would say, like, once you know a concept or something, I would say go build something out of it. You learned how to do analytics, how to use SQL. Go build out a dashboard, go build out your analytics, go publish out, create an online presence, put things on GitHub. Like, when I was back in India, like, I never give importance to all these things, but now I would definitely know the importance of it. Like, even if you do not get an experience of like getting an internship or something, but whatever you are learning, go look online. There is so much open source content available. um, Go look into that. Open source data available, so many learning available. Do something, bring something, bring a product out of your learning and put it on GitHub, put it on Medium that you learned. Medium is a very, very great platform to kind of showcase a small technical articles. Definitely put, let's say if you have built a dashboard, a Tableau dashboard or something, put those on LinkedIn. Get certifications. Um uh, some people would say why I'm advocating for certification by knowing where I work right now, but it's not that. I know the importance of it. Okay, let's go ahead. So this was like some of my learnings and key takeaways while being in my student life. Um, so let's talk a little bit about my professional journey. So as I talked about, like, my first job, it was at Gobi in Chicago. It was a small startup, but they trusted in me without even having any experience, and they um, kind of hired me as a data analyst, where I worked with their Salesforce system and writing, SQL queries, Excel sheets, and cleaning the data set. After that, I got opportunity to work at a very big company, Discover Financial Services. It's a credit card company in Chicago. I joined there as a business analyst, but I was always looking for new and opportunities, and I had very great managers who gave me opportunity to try whatever things I wanted. So I ended up doing a lot of different things in my just 1.5 year that I spent at Discover. Like, I was a business analyst, I was a data analyst. I got opportunity to build. Cloud computing was something new to the company that was coming. So they gave me opportunity to build things on cloud. So go, do different thing than what I was primarily hired for. Like, I went ahead, built my profile as a data engineer. I didn't even know what a data engineer does before. Uh, so they gave me very good opportunities to try out new things. I'm very grateful to them about giving this opportunity. I did solution architecting. I became, like, AWS cloud became my a favorite cloud provider, like something that I live by, uh, and was using it day in and day out. After that, after Chicago, I decided to move to Bay Area and got even more exciting opportunity to work at Coursera, where I work even now as a data engineer. Um, I, as I said, I work very strong, closely with Amazon Web Services Cloud. It's a very emerging new technology. Like cloud is the next big thing that's going to happen. A lot of cloud providers out in the market, AWS being the leader one. Here, I it's a startup environment. It's Coursera is into e-learning. Uh, they kind of give you, provide you online learning from all throughout the world, from professors from top universities, and you can get that. You can enroll into that. For most of them, it's a free course only if you uh, want a certification or something. That is when you have to pay them. So it's a very great tool and resource for you to like go in, get a learning of your interest, whatever you want. And I'm very proud to support this company in their mission of reaching millions of lives all throughout the globe and providing them a higher quality education. Specifically during this COVID times, I think Coursera has really being honest to its mission, and has provided their catalog for free for any universities that have been affected by COVID. So we saw a very huge increase in the traffic on our platform, people using this platform. So supporting them was something where I'm really excited about and proud about while working there as a data engineer. So some like while in my professional world, I learned a lot of things. Like it's not that easy, but definitely it's a fun learning. And once you have figured out, how to deal with certain things, you are definitely going to enjoy it and love it. So I would say that go out, talk to people, talk to cross-functional teams. Don't just be focused on your team, your work. Go talk to other people in the same domain, other cross-functional teams within the company. You don't know who will inspire you, and you end up doing something very great. uh, Second point is super important. Observe what makes you happy and do more of that, because imagine you are working 9 to 5. At least in the US, you work 40 hours a week. Major part of your life you spend up in the office doing work. So it's very important to be happy what you're doing, and focus on something that you feel like doing it, not just because you have a job and you need to earn and you need to do it, but what makes you happy. I cannot stress enough on the importance of mentorship. So get a mentor earlier in life, like all through, like it will going to help you in your choosing what field to go, choosing how to move ahead in your academics, how to move ahead in your professionals. um, when even you are looking for a job, I know the first job is important and difficult, but then once after that you want to try something new or exploring new opportunities, look out for a leader like your manager. He should be a leader and he should guide you, but not your boss, because that's super important for a healthy work environment. um, and then I would also say that take time to learn about the company's business domain, not just like what your primary role is. One very great learning that I've had is strong documentations. Like I I was never in favor of it. In my one of the previous companies, we didn't even focus on that. But here I have realized the importance of it. I use it in my life as well, where like if I'm interviewing, if I am like giving out uh, uh, in my job applications or anything, I personally like to document things, and reference it later on for myself or other people who need it. So definitely I would encourage in the professional world on a strong documentation skill. Be willing to help others. Trust me, that feeling is great. Someone reaches out to you on LinkedIn, share your experience, share what you have learned, help them in any way that you can, give you some time in it, that you never know what you will learn from that person. And trust me, that feeling is really great. Identify what are your short term and long term goals. Like I know it's very difficult or hazy at the beginning about what you want to do, but have some guidelines in your mind on how you want to move ahead, and talk to people, talk to your mentor, have some short-term goals, work towards your long-term goal, and don't be ever afraid to change your paths. Like the thing that I have learned after coming to the States is people from various background end up doing something else in their life, and then they're happy doing that. Someone from an arts and a commerce and or an economics background is writing machine learning models, uh, who is like it's that models are so great in terms of their predicting, and they are so happy about doing that. So you never know what will work best for you, so don't be shy to experiment. And always adapt and evolve. If your plan A fails, there are like 25 other letters for you to go and try out. Yeah, so this is all I had, like, for now to share. Lot of more things, but then these are something, one of like some of the key takeaways I would like to say all throughout my journey so far. And thank you everyone for listening to me. And here is my LinkedIn handle. Feel free to connect to me anytime. Thank you. Over to you, Ilama.
Yes. Naithik, nice to hear you after a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So much of Gnan you have been able to collect and give.
uh, I'm glad to share with everyone, and not just like collect it. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. So I think it was a beautiful journey all the three of you all have shared. I have one question to all the three of you all. You have all been from the tech world. That's the common baseline. But there's one thing that I see difference is that two of you are in the field of education. Especially if I look at Sohil, probably it would be school education. Am I right, Sohil?
Yeah.
Go Guardian.
Yes.
If I look at Naithik, you are in higher education. If you may correct me.
That is
And,
correct. Yes.
Avni, you are in a very, very hardcore tech, you can say, company. I would just like to say that the application that the two of you are having, Naithik and Sohil, I would just like to know what is the level of satisfaction, because ultimately you are not in a hardcore tech. Of course, you will be working in the tech aspect, but the company, the window is more on education. And of course, there is a level of satisfaction I could see from your presentations. But still, is there a moment of thought that you would prefer to go in a hardcore tech company? This is a question to Sohil and Naithik especially.
I think it's not just core tech, it's about what your technology is and how it's making a difference in the world. And I feel like, at least in the US education system, it's all based on SATs and tests. And what I have learned in my journey, and I think what my CEO of my company shares the vision as well, that it's probably not the right way of learning. Like, tests are not the right way of evaluating how much you've learned. And I think changing that, my company is working towards changing that and identifying how much you've learned. And I feel like that's really important, and it's really going to make a difference out there, and it's not just in US, it's going to follow suit everywhere. So I feel like it's not about where you're working, but for me it's more about how that's making a difference in the real world.
Very good answer, Sohil. It was really nice to hear. Of course, all the three of you are working in very big corporate firms. So that's the aspect also which is there. Yes, Naithik, what would you like to answer?
Yeah, no, I think I plus one to Sohil. Like you really like we as a company really focus on mission. We are a platform to enable, like we get to do hardcore technical things. Like we are just a platform where we aggregate education material from various places. So talking about coming back to mission, like really like I would like to share this example where everything like that is happening out in the world, like it's so not pleasing to hear and see, but then you really see how your work is affecting out there and contributing towards mission. And looking at like those numbers, we have charts where we can see like how your work is impacting everyone, like how many learners we have reached daily. During COVID time, we were at a all-time high of people, like serving. So it feels so good that we have a platform, we work for such a great mission, and are able to kind of help everyone directly or indirectly via this work, and reach millions of people all across the globe. So very happy to be working of what we are doing, using our technical skills and knowledge to work for a cause or a mission.
Yeah, and I agree to you, Naithik. And I think Sohil and Naithik would have been on the very, you can say, high during this COVID period. Your work would have really seen the peak during the COVID period, especially all over the world, all over the world. And everybody talks about GoGuardian and Coursera, especially Coursera, because of the free freebies that have been coming along for students. I think that's really, really amazing. My question to Avni. Avni, you have been working in a very, you can say it's a niche company, and it's a very special space that SAP occupies in the entrepreneurial journey of the big bees.
Mhm.
So, what is the future vision for you? Because is this the best that you can imagine for yourself, or is there something still more that you aspire?
So in terms of the company SAP itself, yes, there's always that idea that you want to serve a company that's directly helping a mission. That has always, I always keep evaluating that. But at the same time, so for example, SAP is supporting companies that support directly. So we are supporting enterprises. It can be Coursera, it can be social media platforms. So what I support is supporting these organizations get to their path. So we supply them software so they can support their missions. So yes, I would, that mission thing is always there in my mind. If I can directly impact more, I think the satisfaction increases. But at the same time, I also see, SAP really helping lives. So in terms of, how they manage their diversity, like, it's a huge company, how they really support diversity is is something that I aspire to be. It's a really a global company. That with if I get a specialized role where my mission will be more direct, I think definitely it will increase my satisfaction. So as I mentioned, that ikigai thing, I try to imbibe that. I maybe it's my BWN work, where I'm directly working for women. um, it can't be it's definitely not a one single answer. It keeps evolving, every year, every 5 years. So I think I will get there with every new learning that I get.
Yeah, that's true, very true. I have a question to all the three of you all. You had a little stint in internship or a little work experience in India, and a little internship during while you were in the US while you were studying, and then of course you went into the workspace where you've been in a full as a full-time professional. What are the changes that you have experienced for yourself within yourself?
Yeah, we defer to internship guys.
Sorry,
I was the one without internship.
without internship in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me,
You did have an internship there, so you can talk about that also. Yeah, yeah, Avni.
So for me, I think getting into the internship, basically we had no knowledge. So as I did not do an internship in my bachelor's, which I thought I should have done later on in my life.
You mentioned
So once I started working full time, you get how to actually apply these, concepts that you've learned in your bachelor's in an organization. So Accenture was, a full-fledged organization. Just seeing how it works, how an organization runs in itself is the first step that you need. And that changes, how you will look at your career. So if you really enjoy what you're doing, which, it happened to me that I enjoyed working in business intelligence, it made me, it showed me how it actually will grow in future. So I could see myself in the field, and so I could plan my future accordingly. So it changed my career path.
Yeah, I would agree. Like when you're studying, you don't really have industry exposure, so you don't really know how things go on in the industry,
Yeah.
and you feel like, okay, this is an assignment, I need to complete this by 12 a.m. and submit it, and it's done, my work is done. But it's not like that. Like, you realize that, okay, you need to do something, it needs to go out in the real world, and it needs to work in the real world, and you need to continue evolving it and have it work in the real world. It just doesn't stop by submitting one assignment. um, yeah, it also like makes you realize like how things work in reality, I guess.
Yeah, and then I think when I've seen that that when you are an intern, like you are super new, you are super excited to try out new things, and everyone is super willing to help you, guide you, mentor you, and things really change when you enter into full time. Like, you are mostly on your own. Like, definitely you need to figure out your own paths of reaching out to people and clearing your paths. But then internship is a great opportunity where, like, definitely you get to learn how to apply that, but also you have more like you have that kind of a mentor where you're working, who you can rely on, and it helps you guide and move ahead, unlike how it happens when you're in the full time.
okay, so just like the internship story, how much would a startup story in India help you with your career growth internationally? Some entrepreneurial stint in India.
It would be a great opportunity, I think. I think in a startup, basically you would be wearing multiple hats, and your learning would not be one role. Like, if you're in an organization, a well formed organization, you would usually have like one specific responsibility that you're doing, and you will learn or excel in that. In a startup, I think the sky is your limit as a learning opportunity. If Even if it's for free, even if it's, you're volunteering, if you are in contact with the startup, you're interested in contributing, there can be nothing like it.
Yeah, and if, like, let's say you are one of those initials in the startup where you are very close to the business, what's happening. Like, let's say, if even if it's your something of your own, or something that you're working very closely on a high level, like at a upper level of that startup, that even the failure in that is going to be so much valuable, those learnings, because I've seen in interviews where, like, I'm also in an interview panel here at Coursera, and we have seen the thing that the experiences that those kind of a people have and bring are even much more value to the company, because that really tells us what's working, what's not working, and they can really understand things from a business perspective, and how in reality things would happen. Like, what we see now, like as being an employee, is the growth and the success of the company, but the leaders are the one who really know what it takes to get there.
Just to connect to the same question, uh, I'm not talking about only experience in a startup. I'm talking about initiating a startup. So, how would that experience in India? Because in India, it is much more simpler to have your own startup, to explore, experiment with a startup. How would that experience really help in your further career? Avni, your points on it.
So I'm actually thinking of a friend who did something like that. So, I know someone, I think from DJ Sangvi mostly. So they did a startup of, as creating internships for engineering students. So something that they were, I guess, just they saw this issue, and they created a solution for it, and they created a startup, worked in it, worked on it, I think, for a couple of years, and made a product out of it. So it's, to have that faith in yourself that, I can do it, and to, go ahead and start that startup itself will be a great journey. So uh, I think, I guess when I was growing up, I did not think of it, that it's possible. But I think if it is possible right now, and with the support of KVO, I think sky is your limit. So definitely.
So, you do think that in getting a good placement later on, or getting a good internship, or getting a good university, either ways, somewhere or the other, this experience would help.
So you are looking, so if you are running the startup, if you are initiating it,
Yeah.
you would, as Naithik said, you would know directly how the business is run. You would be the person running it, conceptualizing it. And these things are rare to find, to apply in the organization. So you would, if you already have this experience, of course you would be putting it on your resume. You would be, how to talk to people, how to negotiate. You can present yourself as a entrepreneur, in a if I had that experience, and I'm going to a career fair, and I'm saying I had my own company, I think that itself is a huge difference from saying, I had like I was an engineer at this company, and doing a small job. So it's a massive, like, it's not like, one step difference, it's a massive improvement in your resume or in your career.
Another question to the three of y'all. Uh, the question is that about volunteering. How would volunteering experience help you in your career path? Volunteering at the undergrad or volunteering in school days, how would that help you in your career path?
I mean, it.
Will, would you like to
Sorry,
add
go
some?
ahead.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it depends on what kind of work you're doing. Like, you could be learning how to organize something. You could be learning how to uh, write something up from scratch, build something up from scratch. You could be learning how speaking. Like, it depends. There could be huge amounts of learning curves from it. You're doing something you don't know, and you're helping someone out while you're doing that thing, and you're learning something. So it's, I'm always pro doing new things, learning new things, and always being saying yes to doing new things. Like, it, you don't know right then how it'll help you, but down the line it'll help you in ways you don't know and you won't realize back then.
So, Sohil, I'm not talking only about learning new things. I'm talking about contributing to the society,
Yes.
uplifting some stakeholder in the entire community, empathizing with them. I'm talking about that aspect. Would that help you in your career growth?
I would definitely say yes, and I have a live example of myself. So,
Can you
I
elaborate? Can you
yeah,
elaborate?
sure. I worked on a small project, a volunteering project for a couple of months of writing content for visually challenged people. Um, so I didn't even know that, like they can learn it in so way, like they have their own ways of how the videos are played and everything. And then I contributed to that project in terms of my mathematical expertise on how to draft questions for them, how to make them understand and alt text and all those things. That experience gave me that was a very beginning of that experience, which showed me what impact my work can have. And like even like learning is so important, and how it has made a difference to someone's life because of my work. That experience has really helped me make the decision here in the States. As Before this, I was at Discover Financial Services, and I was considering a change in career and a move. I had offers from different companies, Amazon, Coursera, and other companies. That really helped me steer that, like go in the direction of impact. Like what is something that where I will work. I mean, see, everyone is going to pay you, everyone will give you some good amount of work and everything to do, but that feeling of like to think in the direction of making an impact was something that came to me from that experience. So definitely it can help you in some way or the other.
Yeah, I think that was a very, very good answer with a live example that you gave. Yeah, would anyone of you all want to add anything? Otherwise, I have my last question.
So so one thing that I always tried to do in India or here was try to educate or mentor others directly. And if whichever stage you are in your life, if you can help out just one more person, I think when you see that person growing, you will really feel good that your experience could help others. So in organizations itself, you will always have a corporate social responsibility, or you will always have samaj seva for KVO. There are so many ways in which you can give back. So I remember, so I was in Accenture, and we were we were going to the slums to teach English to these were kids at that time. And then adults also reached out to us that we want to learn English, just basic communication skills, so that in our day to day jobs it increases our pay. And they were so willing to learn, even the basics, that it really left an impact. That anything that you can impart, like even as simple as basic communication skills, I'm sure all of us have the privilege to learn that. If we can give back, you are improving someone's day to day. So
So very good. My last question to all the three of you all is, of course, for the KVO community. You are in giant companies, GoGuardian and Coursera and SAP. How do you think you can contribute to the KVO community and to the Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Karoli Fund? In what way can you support the community? I can see some smile.
So definitely, I think like coming from an edtech background, and even Sohil would agree to that, we have the ability to provide means to uh, provide good quality education to everyone. And I'm pretty sure everyone is like in this, especially in this time, is looking to see how to upskill themselves. We definitely have programs where we can support NGOs and other communities where like we are already supporting a lot of them. KVO being one of them, we can definitely look into how to get access to our KVO students to an entire catalog or something. Definitely in some way or the other, I'm pretty sure I can reach to the management to do that.
Okay. Naithik will get back to you.
Yep, sure. And
So
then
I think
also, if someone needs like any kind of speaker mentorship or something, like definitely all are willing to help, ready to help, give a talk or something that can really inspire and mentor people. And any
Naithik, looking at Coursera with KVO.
yeah, we can do that definitely. For sure, for sure.
Sure, good. Yes, Sohil.
So yeah, I mean, in this time of remote learning, it's really important to stay connected and keep in touch with everyone, not just in like personally, but professionally as well. And I think one place that GoGuardian does that really well is connecting people so that they can learn at the same time. And yeah, it'll be definitely beneficial for GoGuardian as well as for KVO if in terms of a collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back to both of y'all. Yes, what about Avni?
so. I think all great points. Definitely, that is, SAP would have programs, but I think one way where I could directly impact is if SAP is a global company. So anyone who's looking for jobs, for example, at SAP, which has like a range of different functions from finance to technology. So if that's your interest area and you want to apply for a job, you can directly contact me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to give a referral. And I think just getting into the system, like getting some more idea about SAP itself would be beneficial in your application process.
Avni,
So
how many branches does SAP have?
in the US itself, I know it's in like 10 plus cities and it's all across the world. So I think it has a presence in almost every country. It would have like one office, if not like a working office, a sales office at least. So
So
global company.
I'm just asking you because that many jobs definitely will be available.
For sure. It's
Okay, it was great talking to y'all. And definitely we'll get back to you all for the KVO community, whatever best is possible. I'm sure you are there to support. Having got the support from the KVO, I know that you are all ready with your open arms to support the KVO community. It was great knowing you all, especially after almost, I think, 5 years
yeah.
down the line. It was really great knowing you all. I still remember the petit faces and the petit sizes with which y'all had come, and the kind of questions and doubts that y'all had. Uh, I think it has just been amazing to hear the success story of yours and the kind of smile. I don't know whether this is the ikigai smile.
Thank you. Yeah, ma'am. It's so good to connect back. I think in this time of COVID, I think even more to connect back. I think it's really good to give back in any way or just talk to you. So thank you for organizing this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
And thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you.